Hey, what's up, y'all? I just want to holler at y'all real quick. So my cousin hit me up this morning talking about welcome to war. And so at first I didn't know what he was talking about until I went online and read that the Iranian general got killed by the U.S. drone. And it's crazy because I've been telling people about this, all my family and friends, for over a year now. You know, and I've been had this information because it's prophesied that we're going to have to go have a World War III. It's prophesied in the Bible, actually. And I'm not somebody that grew up on the Bible. If you haven't known me within the last year, you wouldn't even know that I've really been reading the Bible. But the Bible talks about all this. It talks about it in Ezekiel 38, the allies that were going to come against America. If you've read Revelations, then you can tie America to Mystery Babylon, because that's who we are. But yeah, I mean, none of this is really surprising. It's just, you gotta be prepared, man. Like, the time is here, the time is now. If you're not ready, if you're not preparing yourself and your family, then, you know, it's gonna be a wrap. Like, start stocking up on food, stocking up on water. You know, they're trying to take guns away from us already. So just do what you gotta do, man, because the time is here. All right, we're not making it any better on our side. And keep it 100 with you. I was reading all the tweets on Twitter, and I'm just like, yo, like, we ain't ready for this. We're not built that way to go towards war. I mean, America is the most hated country in the world. Right? And all our people are just like, yo, they're already talking about refusing the draft, running away. We don't have any sense of nationalism. We don't have a pride in this country, and I can't blame you. But then who's gonna protect this country? This country's gonna fall. And that's just the fact of it. Like I said, you gotta be prepared, man. If you don't have a relationship with the Most High, if you're not, you know, reading the Word, really living it out the way that you should, then, I mean, on Judgment Day, he's gonna look at you. Yahshua is gonna look at you. He's gonna say, hey, I never knew you. Yahshua being Jesus, that's his Hebrew name. If y'all ain't know, he's gonna say, I never knew you. You know, so the end is close. It's very close. And like I told all my people, I already know how it's going to play out. It's going to play out where it's going to go to war. All the allies I told you about in the Bible, with being Iran, which is Persia, being Put, which is Egypt, Lebanon. You got Gog and Magog, Russia. You got Togarmah, Turkey. All these people are about to come against us, man. Like, we're not ready for this. Not that type of heat, bro. Not at all.
This week, history has been made.
History has been made.
This alliance, say it again, it's
Never
never
in the history of the human race have these three geographical areas ever had an alliance. Turkey, Iran, and Russia. Never, ever, ever. But the Bible says in the Ezekiel 38:8, in the last days, at the last times, this sort of alliance will happen. Meaning it won't happen 100 years before the time of the end. It won't happen 1,000, and it didn't. It's happening right now, right in front of our very eyes.
Here in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, which would be the main focus in Bible prophecy, other sections of the Bible we'll look at. But in Ezekiel 38, it talks here in verse 2 about Magog. Gog in the land of Magog. Now, Gog would be the person. Magog would be the particular state that it's talking about. And according to biblical geography, Magog would have been that land mass north of the Caspian and Black Sea, which is Russia today. Then in verse 2, it says Meshech and Tubal. And down in verse 6, it says Gomer and Togarmah. When traveling in Turkey recently, I picked up an ancient Turkish map. And in biblical times, Turkey was actually divided into 4 parts: Meshech, Tubal, Gomer, and Togarmah. So we're now talking about Russia and Turkey. There in verse 5, it says Persia. Until 1936, there were 3 nations we know today that were known as Persia. Those 3 nations are Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. And then you continue on in verse 5, Ethiopia, or Cush in some translations. That would be Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan. And then in verse 5 again, it says here in my Bible, Libya, or maybe in another translation, Put. Well, that's modern-day Libya, Colonel Gaddafi. You have to coordinate this with Daniel chapter 11, verses 40 to 45. It talks about the king of the north. Earlier in chapter 11, you find out that is what we know as Syria today. And the king of the south would be Egypt today. And then going over into the book of Psalm, you go over in the book of Psalms chapter 83, and it talks in Psalm 83 about a list of nations. It mentions here the Ishmaelites. Well, that's modern-day Saudi Arabia. And then in verse 5, it talks about Tyre. That's modern-day Lebanon. So we're now seeing a list of Arab nations, with the exception of Russia, who will form this coalition to come against Israel in the last days.
Canada gonna do? What's Australia gonna do? Come on, man. We talking about Creed 2 in real life. Victor Drago's son coming over here really smacking us like it's about to be crazy, man. Ain't gonna be no fight 2 this time. So yeah, man, it's a wrap. Not meant to scare you, it's just meant to wake you up for real. You know, I know a lot of people may have issue with what I'm saying because they just believe in this country so much. So many people are just so optimistic about this country. Like, it can never fall. Like, Greece ain't never fall. Like, Rome ain't never fall. Like, Babylon ain't never fall. Like, Persia ain't never fall, man. Come on, man. We have the same signs that Rome had when it was falling right now. Right now. You know? If you don't believe me, you can look it up. All this stuff that I'm saying, you can think I'm saying, you can look it up. The dollar gonna crash and it's not coming back. Richard Nixon Ben took us off the gold and silver standard. We're on fiat currency. That means that your dollar is not backed by anything. It's just paper blowing in the wind. So, same thing happened to Rome, all right? Their military went down. When people got lazy, became a lot more matriarchal. Like, yo, the Bible gives you a clear hierarchy of men and women. Nobody reads the Bible, so nobody would get it. All right? Like, why are women afraid to be women nowadays? You want to be a woman? If you want to be a man, come on, let's go. Let's get this 2-4 Bravo. Let's get this rucksack and let's lay down and do support and fire. That's for my military people. Y'all know how it is. Who's carrying the M240 Bravos out here? Let's be real, man. It's not bad to be a woman out here. But that's my thing, like the whole overpopulation, and talking about that. It's like, yo, how are we overpopulated? My granny had 5 siblings, my daddy had 9 siblings. The older generations have a gang of siblings. You can't pay a girl nowadays to have 4 children. How are we overpopulated? If anything, we declining. That's, you know, that's another topic right there. So, my thing is just, you gotta be in your word, man. I ain't talking about, you know, just the New Testament. I'm talking about the Old Testament. You gotta know who the God of Israel is. Because that's the guy that's coming back, the Most High. You say you believe in him. You say you believe in Jesus, Yahshua, HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. You gotta know who his daddy is, man. You gotta know who sent him here. And most of y'all don't know. That's why most of y'all say the God of Israel, oh, the Most High in the Old Testament, he's mean, he's mean. Y'all don't even get it, bro. Y'all didn't even read Genesis. If y'all had read Genesis 6, y'all would actually understand the Bible. But most of y'all don't read the Old Testament. You go with what your preacher, your bishop teaches you, and you don't do any due diligence for yourself. Study to show thyself approved. Come on. It's right there. I mean, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. There's gonna be a World War III, yes. It is gonna make way for a antichrist, because after the war, there's gonna be somebody that comes in, it's gonna make peace. All right? That person's gonna be revered. He's gonna be held by all nations. And that's what they talk about, the New World Order. If you knew about the Old World Order, or what happened in the First World Order in Genesis 11, again, going back to Genesis, you would understand the New World Order a whole lot better. Look up Nimrod. That'll be your homework. Look up Nimrod, man, in the Tower of Babel. Like, before I got into the word, I ain't know nothing about no Nimrod. I ain't know nothing about no Tower of Babel. One king, one language. They're trying to have one currency, mark of the beast, one religion under Satan. I ain't know nothing about this. All right, it says Nimrod was the most wicked man after the flood. It said that. And still to this day, a lot of people revere him. I don't want to say worship because people take offense or they get funny about the word worship. But revere, all right? Who's Nimrod? All right, the eye. You start getting into all these secret fraternities, and I don't want to get too deep, but just do your homework on that, all right? All roads lead back to that, all right? Knowing who the people are that keep the word, and knowing that Deuteronomy 28, there's a certain people that Yah, being the Most High, is talking to. And he gave him his commandments, all right? And we're supposed to follow these commandments, and that's how we show that we love him, all right? Love is an action, all right? He said, and being gay is an abomination. He said, eating pig is an abomination. He said, he gave us dietary laws in Leviticus that nobody listens to, but we say that we love him, and we can't follow anything that he's telling us to do. And y'all gonna take offense to me, but if there's somebody out there that can hear me, then that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters, because we're in the end times, and I've lost friends over this. I don't care if I lose a friend or make a foe. Shoot, it's that time. I'm out here doing y'all's work, so if you got an issue with that, you can take that up with the Most High. Because I ain't got time for it. I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm trying to prepare my family, man. But nah, if you really got something that you want to ask me, like, I'll be on Instagram every now and then, so you can hit me up. If you got my number, feel free to reach out. We can chop it up, because that's what time it is, man. I know I said I was wrapping this up. I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to get off here. Ezekiel 7:38 talks about what's about to happen right now. There's going to be one world order. After that, that's where they talk about mark of the beast, all that stuff. Then there's going to be a time where they start killing people. Pastor ain't teach you about that, because the pastor said you're going to get raptured up out of here. No. They're going to start killing people. That's why it says that you need to persevere to the end in Matthew 23-24, when Jesus is on the Mount of the Olives. All right, so you got to persevere to the end. All right, it's going to be a lot of people that come in my name, man, and saying that I'm the Most High doing miraculous things. But until the light goes off, the sun stops giving its shine, and the moon stops giving its shine, and all the stars fall down from the heaven, until that time, it's not him. So get ready, because all these things are going to happen. A lot of people are going to be dying. And it's got to be like that. You got to show. This is tryout season. Show that you really about the team, man. You really on the team? You really care? Love not your life, then. Love not your life. If you love Jesus as much as you say you do, love not your life. Give it up. That's where I am. All right. So I hope to see y'all there on Judgment Day. And I'm out.